alaikum and welcome back to the YouTube channel for another exploration. My name is Furkhan Dandia, and today I will be exploring something I have reflected on, and I've titled this piece Battle of the Nafs. Based on all the stories of the prophets, the path of Islam has never been easy. Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, faced persecution since he started spreading the word of Allah through the revelations he received. There is a struggle throughout, prevalent in the Qur'an in all the symbolism, but with constant reminders of God's promise. The signs are captured in the stories and often repeated throughout. The disbelief, doubt, and hate prevalent in today serve as reminders again. The nafs is incited towards evil through pride, envy, and greed. From a collective or individual perspective, the nafs can be peaceful. However, it can also be subject to envy. When in a state of peace, one is in complete submission to Allah and the individual is free of pride, envy, and greed. The Cain and Abel story is predominantly known as a biblical narrative in the Old Testament and Genesis. However, there's also reference to the story in the Qur'an, which I will discuss towards the end of this exploration. From the biblical perspective, what is evident is a sense of pride and envy that is prevalent in society today. Cain becomes envious of God's acceptance of Abel's sacrifices. From Cain's perspective, he is also making sacrifices, but does not feel the same sense of love from God. The sense of entitlement Cain experiences is relatable and all too common in today's society. The sense of envy, pride, and greed I alluded to earlier is what manifests when we become victims of entitlement. A sense of pride shows up when we believe we should experience God's love and acceptance of our sacrifices by virtue signaling. However, when we witness others at peace with their lives, we experience bitterness or resentment, hence envy. Or greed kicks in because we want all the adoration or praise for our virtues. Does that sound familiar? Ultimately, Cain kills his brother in the story when he's overcome by these tendencies. But God still bestows him with mercy and compassion by offering him another chance. That is also something we continue to see today. How can people escape their atrocities in the face of envy and greed? That is a sign of God's mercy and an opportunity for them to course correct, which only comes through seeking his guidance. Allah's mercy and compassion are also something to remember as we navigate the world. The concept of a mini death in Islam anytime we go to sleep has been fascinating for me and something I reflect on frequently. The idea is that there is a resurrection every morning where we wake up. So how can we maintain humility and gratitude in Allah's mercy towards us with the opportunity to continuously improve and correct our ways? That is the only way we can avoid the negativity we are all susceptible to. And think we are above it is a delusion. We constantly need to ask and seek guidance. I recently read Jeffrey Lang's book, Even Angels Ask, A Journey to Islam in America, and he talked about the Quran as our source of truth and guidance. In his book, what jumped out to me the most, among other things, was Lang's exploration of Surah Al-Fatiha, which is the first surah in the Quran, also known as the opener. So I'll just read out this surah from the beginning to end in the English translation. In the name of Allah, the most compassionate, most merciful. All praise is for Allah, Lord of all worlds, the most compassionate, most merciful, Master of the Day of Judgment. You alone we worship, and you alone we ask for help. Guide us along the straight path, the path of those you have blessed, not those you are displeased with, or those who are astray. Lang points out that we are immediately reminded of Allah's divine qualities, such as mercy and compassion. Then the reminder of everyone's fate when it pertains to the day of judgment. And finally, seeking guidance from Allah and what happens when we are not pursuing his guidance. Lang emphasizes that the straight path is something that we must seek, and it is conferred on those who seek it, and yet those who do not seek this path end up paying for it through loss and wrath. Why do I bring this up when I'm talking about the nafs? While we live in this world, we must constantly submit to Allah and ask for his guidance so we do not fall prey to the greed, envy, and pride I have discussed previously. It is easy to get mired in this existential dilemma and wonder why there's so much hate and envy. We can even lose hope given the current state of affairs in the world. I also read The 100 Years War on Palestine a couple of years ago by Rashid Khalidi, which I will also cover in the future. Through the first 90% of the book, I felt so discouraged, disappointed, and helpless reading about the state of Palestine and the poor people who have been wronged for decades. I lost hope that there would be any justice for the displaced people, the children, the women, the victims. But Khalidi restored my hope by reminding the reader that despite all the adversity, the Palestinians still exist. Their resistance is hope for all of us. Perhaps this conflict reminds our ummah what can happen if we do not stand united against oppression. The Quran beautifully leads us from Surah Al-Fatiha to Surah Al-Baqarah to remind us of our duty and how to act as Allah's vicegerent, Khalifa in this world. This reminder is prevalent throughout the Quran. And if you, like me, often find yourself feeling discouraged or upset at the state of affairs or reflecting on this battle of the Nafs, Allah reminds us of the children of Adam, which are Cain and Abel, in Surah Al-Ma'idah. So I will read the verses 27 to 32 of the fifth Surah, Surah Al-Ma'idah, in the English translation. Relate to them in truth, O Prophet, the story of Adam's two sons, how each offered a sacrifice. One's offering was accepted, while the other's was not. So he threatened his brother, I will kill you. His brother replied, Allah only accepts the offering of the sincerely devout. If you raise your hand to kill me, I will not raise mine to kill you, because I fear Allah, the Lord of all worlds. I want to let you bear your sin against me along with your other sins. Then you will be one of those destined to the fire, and that is a reward of the wrongdoers. Still, the other convinced himself to kill his own brother, so he killed him, becoming a loser. Then Allah sent a crow digging a grave in the ground for a dead crow in order to show him how to bury the corpse of his brother. He cried, Alas, have I even failed to be like this crow and bury the corpse of my brother? So he became regretful. That is why we ordain for the children of Israel that whoever takes a life, unless as a punishment for murder or mischief in the land, it will be as if they killed all of humanity, and whoever saves a life, it will be as if they saved all of humanity. Although our messengers already came to them with clear proofs, many of them still transgressed afterwards through the land. Things get tough, we lose sight of the truth, we become ungrateful, and our nafs gets incited. But we must continue to seek guidance from Allah. We do not know how long we have left or whether the simplest actions can save a life. And alhamdulillah for that. So I hope you enjoyed this exploration. As always, please subscribe or share if you feel compelled to do so.